Don't look now, but the Charlotte Hornets are on a 6 game winning streak, their longest since 2016, a decade ago, and they're fun to watch. The Hornets just had a big win versus one of the best teams in the league in the San Antonio Spurs to cap off an 11-win January, which was tied for the most wins this month by any team in the league. And if you look at their regular record, you wouldn't think that they're a good basketball team. But if you look deeper into it, they realistically should be one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. According to Basketball Reference, the Charlotte Hornets' expected win-loss record is 28 and 22. Mind you, they're the reverse of that. They're 22 and 28 in, actual terms, and they're above average in terms of net rating. This recent stretch is the first time the Hornets core has basically been fully healthy all season, and the results are starting to pour in. Obviously, we all have heard about the great rookie campaign Con Knipple had, or has been having. Made a video about that, I think, like a month and a half ago or something like that. But he's continued to ball out. He's one of the top two favorites to win the Rookie of the Year award. But Brandon Miller has been balling during this winning streak. And Miles Bridges has gone under the radar as a whole this season, being one of the top three leading scorers on this Hornets team. They've also gotten good minutes from Musa Diabate, who has been averaging nearly a double-double with 10 points and 9 boards in the last 10 games. He is active on the glass. He moves really well. He's just a ball of energy when he's out there, and he's been a force on the defensive end as well. Gave Victor Wembanyama some problems in their last game, too. He has been a positive. And the Hornets are one of the top 10 offensive teams in the league, at least when it comes to offensive rating. And they get their threes up at a high clip. Obviously, LaMelo Ball plays a huge part in that because he himself takes a bunch of threes. And although LaMelo Ball might not be everyone's cup of tea when it comes to being your lead guard, I think he's capable of being one on a good team when you have the right pieces in place. And that's what I feel like is starting to take place in Charlotte. They got really good pieces, and they're interesting, and it actually feels like the organization has been taking great steps in the right direction as of the last year. To me, it's going to be really interesting to see what Charlotte does here in the trade deadline coming up, because I think there's possibility that this team is a potential playoff team by the end of the season. And no, I don't say, or I don't mean that they're going to be a top 6 seed and they're going to lock up a spot. I mean, there's a real world where if they can stay healthy, they can make the play in and make it out of the play in. Because I think they're more talented than some of these teams that are ahead of them. They just haven't been able to stay on the floor. Obviously, trade deadline wise, I don't know if they're going to look to sell some pieces, maybe like do a little bit of both sell and buy. I've heard some Miles Bridges trade rumors, which I don't know if it's the smartest thing for them to do. I guess it depends on the price. Colin Sexton's been having a really good year. Maybe a contender could use him as well. Who knows? But I think the Hornets are an interesting team, and they have a legitimate argument to be considered a playoff slash play-in team if their guys are on the floor, like I said. On the flip side, if things don't go as planned for the Charlotte Hornets, I think the Hornets can add on to this core. Getting a top 10 pick would be very good, especially in this draft class. And it would just make them just a whole interesting organization right now, a whole interesting team because they're on the rise. And the Eastern Conference isn't like the West. There isn't like a whole bunch of mega giant teams in there where you're like, oh man, it's going to be really hard for this team to get up to be at their highest potential because you have the Oklahoma City Thunder in a way, or you got Victor Wembanyama coming up and all this stuff. You got the Eastern Conference where it's Jason Tatum's coming back soon, but Boston isn't. Well, Boston's in the picture, but I don't think they're a finals team this season. Who knows? Detroit is really good, but Detroit has some question marks. New York is really good. New York has some question marks as well. Who's to say, like, in a couple years, the Charlotte Hornets don't take some major steps in the right direction and we look up and they're a top 5, 6 team in the East? I think it's definitely a possibility because I've always liked some of the pieces they've had on this core, even when, before these guys were on the team. I liked Brandon Miller in Alabama. I liked LaMelo Ball coming out of the draft. I liked a bunch of these guys. So they have the right pieces in order. It seems like they're starting to become a little more serious. Like the maturity is starting to come into form. Charles Lee has done a really good job with this team as well. He's a young coach, but he's done a really good job. And you look up and hey, look, The Hornets might be the 11 seed, but they're one of the hottest teams in basketball right now. And if you're a guy that has League Pass and you want to look for some teams to watch that might not be the top 10 teams in the league or might not be your favorite team that you see every day, the Charlotte Hornets are worth giving a watch. This is one of the more fun teams to watch in the league right now. And I don't think you have been able to say that about the Hornets. Basically, I don't even know. You could go back a decade. I don't know if they've been this fun even when they had Kemba Walker and all that stuff. So, yeah, Hornets on the rise. And if you're one of these playing teams like Miami, Chicago, and Atlanta, you should be a little nervous because I think the Hornets are going to take one of these spots and really make a push to see if they can end up in a first round series versus a Detroit, a Boston, and New York and see what goes on from there. Anyways, that's going to do it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been the checkup. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.